With less than 45 days to go, we're here to break down what COP29 is all about and why it matters. What is COP29? COP29 is a 10-day global climate conference scheduled to begin on November 11th that will be hosted at Baku, Azerbaijan. It's the 29th iteration of the Conference of the Parties, a group of nations that have signed the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, which was put together in 1992. Since then, the parties, or nations, have met almost annually in a commitment to act together to fight climate change. The most recent COP28 was held last year in Dubai and had the largest attendance in COP history. 97,000 delegates, including more than 150 heads of state, business leaders, and negotiators participated in the conference. Why do climate conferences matter? These meetings serve as a critical platform for nations to collaborate, share innovative solutions, and forge commitments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. COP29 Agenda. So, what's on the agenda for COP29? Here's a quick rundown. On top of the list is climate finance. COP29 is being labeled the Finance COP because the main goal is to figure out how to get the right amount of money to where it's needed. So, what is climate finance? It is a buzzword in this year's COP negotiations, but there isn't one agreed definition of this term. It involves both government and private funds that are directed towards low-carbon investments. It also involves redirecting these funds in a way that benefits those who are disproportionately impacted by the climate crisis. Who pays and how much? Well, back in COP15, countries agreed that wealthy nations would provide $100 billion each year to help poorer countries with their efforts to adapt and mitigate the effects of climate change. However, we're still falling short of these promises due to political disputes over how much accountability must be placed on developed nations for the climate crisis. Mitigation versus adaptation. Another problem is the funding shortfall for adaptation policies. While money is being pumped into cutting emissions or mitigation efforts, there's not enough focus on adaptation. Not enough investment is being made to help communities cope with climate change. Countries in the global south, especially in Africa, are bearing the brunt of climate change and the associated costs of adaptation. COP29 is crucial to shift attention to adaptation and secure more resources for national adaptation plans. Loss and Damage Fund. Climate change brings with it natural disasters, and the Loss and Damage Fund is meant to help poor countries with relief and rehabilitation. So far, only $661 million has been raised, and that's a drop in the ocean in the face of frequent natural calamities. But with the appointment of Ibrahim Achikding as its first executive director, developing nations are hopeful of progress this year. Carbon markets. A notable omission in the COP29 agenda is carbon markets. Countries and companies have been assigned targets to bring down their emissions below a certain level. Those who fail can compensate by buying carbon credits from those who have exceeded expectations in the proposed carbon market. To wrap it up, COP29 is a huge opportunity to tackle key funding issues to tackle climate change. There's a lot on the table for this COP at Azerbaijan.